Hey guys, so in this video, we're going to be looking at using algebra tiles to model solving equations. So pretty much the common thread throughout this whole semester has been we want to model it concrete and then move to abstract concepts. And so a lot of students really struggle when you introduce this unknown quantity of x because they don't know what x actually represents, that x is just a number that we're looking for. And so algebra tiles are a really great way that you can show your students physically what does X mean. I'm choosing to use the virtual algebra tiles just for the convenience of sharing my screen, but they make printable algebra tiles that you can find for free on just a simple Google search. And then a lot of your classrooms will probably come with a set of algebra tiles, especially if you're in my later elementary grades, that you will actually have the plastic pieces to show your students. They can lay them out on their desk. And when I taught middle school, the textbook actually came with printable algebra tiles and these equation mats as well. So the first thing we're going to have to define the different shapes. And so we have these small squares, and the small squares are going to represent our ones. And then we're also going to have the long rods, the rectangles. Those are going to represent our x's, and then the larger squares are going to represent x squared. Now, we won't use the x squareds in the context of this class, but the great thing about algebra tiles is they can start as early on as early elementary school with just adding and subtracting numbers and sign numbers, and they can extend all the way into algebra 2, pre-calculus, calculus, and the upper level math. So if you set the foundation with algebra tiles, you can actually use them throughout several layers of math. And then the other note is that these red shapes are always going to represent the negative algebra tiles. And so if we're looking to represent -4, we would take 4 of these small one blocks, the red ones, that would be negative. If we're looking to represent +4, we would use 4 of the color blocks, or in this case, yellow. Same thing with the x's. If we're looking to represent +3x, we would have 3 of these long rod rectangulars. If we were looking to represent -5x, we would have 5 of the red x values. And then you're going to have this equation mat. And so you will just model it with everything to the left of the equal sign on the left side of the mat and everything to the right of the equal sign on the right side of the mat. So I'm going to use this website. I've already got that pulled up, but I want you to kind of follow along, and I'd like for you to do it along with me. So pause the video, get the website pulled up, and then when you're ready, go ahead and restart. All right, so over here we've got our equations that we're going to kind of model this with. So I'm going to shrink this thing over. So we've got x plus 2 equals 3. So over here on my equation mat, I want to model x plus 2 on the left-hand side. So I've got a positive x and then 2 ones. And so that is the representation of x plus 2. And then on the right-hand side, it says equals +3. So I'm going to get 3 ones on the right-hand side. So I've set up the equation. I've modeled the equation. Now I want to solve for x. I want to get this x tile by itself. Well, we know that if I put a yellow and a red together, those will actually cancel out. And so when I lay those over top of each other, those will go away to 0. However, if I put 2 reds on the left, I have to also put 2 reds on the right because I want to keep this equation balanced. Now over here, these are going to cancel, so I can remove those from my mat. Those are going to cancel, so I can remove those from my mat. And then I'm just left with 1x on the left equals these things on the right. Now I need to simplify that. So same thing as before, those will cancel and they go away. And then these will also cancel. So they go away. So I'm left with 1x equals a positive 1. And so I could solve that by saying, now I know x equals 1. All right, so let's look at another one. So the next one, x minus 1 equals 4. So I've got 1x minus 1, so I'm going to need a negative 1 equals 4. Now remember, the goal of solving equations is to get x by itself. And so to get x by itself, I need to get rid of this red 1 on the left-hand side. So to undo a red square, I'm going to put a yellow square on there. Those will then cancel. And then because I put a yellow one on the right, I also need to put a yellow one on the, because I put a yellow one on the left, I also need to put a yellow one on the right. Nothing cancels over here, but this tells me that 1x equals 5 positive. So x equals 5. All right, let's look at the next one. Let's look at a two-step equation. 2x, well, sorry, we're going to skip one. Let's look at 2x plus 4 equals 8. And so let me clear this thing out. So we've got 2x plus 4 equals 8. Well, now I'm going to have 2 x bars. So 2x plus 4. I'm going to have 4 positives, 4 positive 1s. So that is 2x plus 4 equals, I need 8 1s over here. And so then what your students do, the first thing is just modeling the equation. So I've got it set up to be 2x plus 4 equals 8 on the right. Now from here, we have to do something with the 1s first, and then we'll do something with the x's. So the first thing I want to do with these 1s is I need to get rid of the 1s on the left. Well, if I put 4 red 1s on the left, then that will cancel out with the 4 yellow 1s I started with. And so then I'm going to do the same thing on the right. Whatever I put on the left, have to put on the right. And so I'm keeping my equation balanced. All of these are going to cancel out, so I'm going to remove all of those. And then here, I'm going to have 4 of these that were on that side that are going to now cancel out with those red 1s. And so now I'm left with 2x equals positive 4. Now with multiplication, I need to know what does 1x equal, not what is 2x equals. So I want to take these 1s on the right-hand side and I want to put them into even groups so that then I can say what is 1x the same thing as. And so now we can make the jump to say if 2x equals 4, then 1x would equal 2. And so then your students could then write down x equals 2.